at 7:12.
This meeting is being recorded.
Get them on
All
here.
right.
Hang on.
7:12. All right, welcome everybody to our December meeting. We have minutes, finally minutes. I don't know if everybody got a chance to look them over, but Allison did minutes from last meeting. I went over them. Everything seemed accurate. Can we get, if there's no discussion, can we get a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the last meeting?
I just have one thing, Mark.
Mike, you're on. You're on. You just have to. You got to unmute yourself.
Yep, the members present. Arrigi is spelled wrong.
It's got to be working. I see your. Are you looking over to the left? It's only a symbol. All you got to do is hit the symbol, and then the video's there too. You're just looking. It looks like a microphone. Just hit it, and it'll come back on. It'll come on for you.
All right. I'll go over that with Allison just so she corrects the spelling in the mix.
Right here.
Okay, the rest sounded
It's easier for
good.
you.
Motion to accept them.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor to approve the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.
Aye.
Minutes are approved.
Mark, is
Okay.
Allison going to go back for the minutes that we missed?
She'll work through the Zoom meetings when she has time and go
Mhm.
through and pull them up, and then we'll go through and if it's easier for everybody, if she does a synopsis of the minutes, I'll go through them
Mhm.
based on the notes that I took from July on, and just make sure things kind of match up. And then, unless anybody has any major concerns, we'll just lump some of them in one big approval and get them in the record if that's okay with everyone.
Okay.
Because everything is on Zoom anyway, so we have a recording of it anyway. So, everything is, because even when we were meeting in person, things were they were still being recorded, so we were fine there.
Right.
I don't know, Jeff. I don't know if we have anybody from the public with anything to say in this meeting. So if we want, let's move. Jeff, you there with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's move Jeff right up so he doesn't have to sit on
Bless
everything.
you.
All right. I like it.
Jeff, can you do me a favor and pronounce your last name for everybody? Because I've been butchering it for 2 months, so I apologize.
It's okay. It's Jeff Gosiminsky.
Is that Polish or Lithuanian?
Well, it's Polish on my father's side. My mother never claimed that because she's Irish and English. So there's always an internal fight within our house growing up. But yeah, totally Polish. But
Okay.
So, Jeff, through many meetings and on the people involved in pickleball on their end and on our end, we had many meetings. But Jeff is the man in charge down there now of the Pickleball Association. So he's I'll let you fill him in. I'll let Jeff fill you guys in, but he's been hard at work and hit the ground running. So Jeff, you want to give us a little bit of a synopsis of what you've been working on?
You bet. Thanks. Yeah, what we've done is we've had such a growth going down as far as what's happened over the last year or so. The sport's going nuts, and some of the founding members down there, especially Jim Campbell and Joe Pitter and Bruce Eckerd, they've done a good job of getting it to where it's at. And I know there's been many meetings in the past, and looking at the results, especially from the board's recommendation, is you're really looking to have some more structure, which we've put forth. So what we've done is we've already set it up with the state articles of incorporation, our federal ID number, Merrimack Valley Credit Union, and we're in the process of submitting the paperwork for a federal nonprofit status, which is a 501c7, which is for a recreational facility. So that paperwork does take many months, but everything else that we have is going in play. We've had multiple meetings already. We've established a board of directors, of which I am the president of the club. So we we understood, especially from the feedback that I've received from those guys, that we really need to get our organization together and get it set up formally, which again we have done, and we're all set for the 2024 season, which will start on March 1st. What we are requesting is, I think we've got a lot that we're doing as far as within a structure for not only leagues with ladder programs and tournaments, but we're setting up a member-based system for both residents and non-residents. So what we're requesting from your committee here and your board is formal approval of what we're trying to do as an organization. Pretty much, to sum it, is there's really two big groups of players. One is a morning group, which is from about 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock that play every day. And then another group, which are really coming out of work from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock at night. So we want to set that all up as a member-based program, and it's a fee-based program. So when we do that, we certainly are going to make sure that everyone signs a formal application, a release waiver, a code of conduct, and it's understood that $10 from each of the members' fees will go toward to the Parks and Recreational Department. So we want to get it set up like that. The growth has been crazy. Last year, we used an application called Team Reach, and there was, I believe, about 112 members in the morning group. The combination of the morning group and the afternoon group, there's over 500 members. So in 1 year, it's gone from like 115 to like 500 people. So there's a lot of play going on down there. We have a whiteboard with people waiting all the time. So it's time to get a good structure, a good member-based structure in place. So that's what we've done, and we've taken a recommendation from the board and also from the original members, and that's what we put forth. So beyond that, we're going to have a lot of open play time that will be for guests. Again, that will be a fee-based program for $5 per person to play with an open play. And again, similar to the fees for the members, 20% of the guest fee will also go to the Parks and Recreational Department. This will ensure that there's no one that's showing up. We've had some issues that people have just shown up in the afternoon, loitered, left a lot of garbage everywhere, not adhered by the rules that we had set up. So it's really imperative. So especially the Bridgewater residents that want to play in the afternoon, they can play and not worry about kind of that happening. So I think that structure is vitally important as we've seen the massive growth that's happened over the last year. So that's pretty much what we're looking to do. The Bridgewater courts are beautiful. They've done a really, really nice job, and it's set up with where the fencing is and the windscreens and the nets. It's really set up really, really nice. And so the objective of the group is to make sure that going forward, it remains a really high standard place where it's really, really nice and it's a great quality of play. The amount of people that have come from out of town, and this pickleball courts everywhere, but there's so many members from Middleborough, East Bridgewater, Raynham, from all over the place, almost as far as some people coming from the Cape, that really like the quality of the courts that we have. And I think that thing that's happened, especially over the last year, is the friendships that have really grown within a lot of the members that are there. It's an amazing social program that's really set up now, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful to see everybody getting along so well, and it's a really nice social situation. So our plan is we're going to start to put committees together for, like I said, tournament committees, league committees. We would like to put a spring tournament together, which we've never had before.
I hate these virtual meetings. I know, they shouldn't be anymore. Or you can turn it
And-
off. You know what I
There
mean?
you go, Mike.
Don't on the computer.
Um,
Yeah.
but what we like to do is to put a springtime tournament together. I know in talking to Tom, that is potentially you'd like to be named. And I think what we could do is within the tournament, we could work it out with the board is possibly having the facility named. I won't go into detail in this forum. But within that tournament, I think that would be a great time to do something like that. So within tournaments and leagues and stuff like that, I think it would be great as the growth of this sport has really taken off. And I think with a lot of the fees that we have and working with your groups, there's things that we need to do. We need to get electricity there. We have a defibrillator that we need to put in place. There's, especially in the morning, there's some older people that are playing, still doing great, but by having the defibrillator and electricity there would be vitally important to do so. So I think in conjunction with yourself and what we're doing, I think that's where we like to see a lot of the funds being utilized to look at future growth. In the future, I'd love to see us have the ability to put lighting for nights, possible expansion programs, working with the CPC in the future. I realize that's a long-term event and it'll take years to do that. But my objective is to get an open dialogue with both Parks and Rec and CPC and really put something forth that would be great for the community. So that's where we're coming from, and I appreciate you letting me explain what we're doing from the pickleball side of things here.
Yeah.
Can we ask questions? Or?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Couple things, Jeff. First off, thank you for coming to the meeting. For your talk about what your your organization is doing. Couple things. We as Parks and Rec had approved last, I don't know, June, I think it was June, for your group to charge, I believe it was 8 to 12. Then I was included on a bunch of emails that were coming from Bruce and different members. I know it didn't go to all of Parks and Rec, that it wanted to be all day. I personally, and from talking to constituents and residents in town, I wouldn't like to see all 6 courts tied up dawn to dusk on a fee-based schedule. It stops the people that just wants to drop in. Comments I'm hearing from people is the town paid for it. We don't charge people to use, unless it's our organized group, to use the basketball courts, to use the fields, to use our other facilities. My thought, and the thought I'm hearing from people, is that the town paid for the courts. They should be available at no charge for the townspeople. I can understand what you're doing. Some of the things, excuse me, I'm losing my voice tonight. Some of the things that I've heard you say tonight and other people from your organization that you want to do is buy nets, supply balls, things like that. That's great. To me, it's also a town expense that the town should be paying those things. Jim Small can tell us how much nets cost or how much he's had to put into the money wise into the courts this year. As I said, I personally would be against tying up all 6 courts for dawn to dusk on a fee-based schedule, fee-based structure. It just takes away the use for the townspeople. Plus, the question is who's going to collect, who's going to monitor that people have paid. So that's a question.
That would be our organization that would do that.
So somebody would be there from dawn to dusk.
No, as far as the members go, we would know who the members are and make sure that the fee is collected from the members. And again, it's mainly to make sure that the courts are in great condition and someone is maintaining them all the time to the standards that we need to have set up. It
Right.
also makes sure that the play is set up for the members that like to play. That's why we wanted it set up so there's open play that would be between, say, 11 o'clock in the morning and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Again, and I had a letter I put forth. What we'd like to do is to let Bridgewater residents know that we can offer free lessons from a certified professional initially to see if they like the game and to go down there and play. And then hopefully by doing so, they would meet enough people and be interested in enjoying the group. What we found in the past when people didn't show up, especially if they were from out of town, that they're not adhering to the rules, we play a game and then you get off and then people that are waiting get on. And with that, we can control kind of what's going on and the way they should be conducting themselves. And that's why we wanted to make sure everyone that's there is not argumentative. They're signing a code of conduct. And the objective is not to make it so town people can't use the facility. The objective, and again, the fee-based system is a very small yearly fee. But it can be open in the afternoon. Will there be anyone there monitoring it during 24/7? No, part of it will be an honor system. It'll be like a Venmo QR code that they can take the court and they can set up the court for a certain time for them to use. But that's the objective of why we're kind of setting it up that way. That way we can set up tournaments and leagues and do a lot of things that we can kind of control how the court's being utilized during that period of time.
Hey, Jeff, were you talking Monday through Friday or Monday, or 7 days a week?
I mean, for the most part, it's like the people that are there in the morning group are there pretty much 7 days a week. The afternoon group is more of a Monday through Friday, but mainly it's Monday through Friday. But as you know, on the weekend, it's heavily used, and it's from everyone coming in. So if anything, we wanted to, the way we had going to have the fee-based drug set up, it would be a lower price for residents and a higher price for non-residents. What's happening is mainly, if you looked at the majority of other towns, they're all charging, all on, but the majority of them that are keeping really, really nice courts and really high standard are charging an amount to play as a member-based fee in other towns. Bridgewater is not. So we're getting inundated with a lot of out-of-towners coming in, utilizing the beautiful facilities because it's free and it's not being utilized. Now, how do you monitor who is a Bridgewater resident and who is not a Bridgewater resident if you don't have any structure in place? Who's going to be doing that monitor? That I have no idea how we could possibly do that. But it's mainly to make sure that we're giving preferential treatment for the Bridgewater residents, and then a non-resident would pay a higher fee. But if it was free and anybody would show up at any time, there's absolutely no way we can control who they are or where they're from.
Hey, Jeff,
Right.
okay, you said there's approximately 500 signed up
many-
for the membership. So you're talking $5,000?
Yeah. So
$10 a piece? Are we getting the 5,000?
Exactly. So again, the combination of both the morning and afternoon group is 500 members. Now, are all 500 members, when they find out they have to pay a fee, going to come in? Maybe not, but the way we've had growth going, we would certainly get to that number. So even if it went down to 4,000 and you're based on $10 per, it would be between probably $4,000 and $5,000 that the check would go to.
I'm just trying to weigh this. Is it worth the hassle we're going to get if Middleborough people are playing on it and Bridgewater people aren't? Even though, remember, my understanding was it was going from 6 a.m. to 10,
Yep.
Monday through Friday, weekends were an option. We weren't sure about weekends. Nights, that was a question mark too. So this is like sort of new to me that we're going up to how many hours. I never anticipated that. Hang on one sec. And the out of towners, that really throws a key wrench into everyone, because it's Bridgewater courts and more other people, just like what we're talking now with Mark. We have a lot of out of town people trying to use our other ball fields and doing different things, and they're paying a higher level. So if you're out of town, they positively should be paying more than an in-town resident. And $10 is that's almost free in my opinion.
In the way it's set up, Tom, is for a Bridgewater resident for the whole year would be $50. For a non-resident, it's double that. It's $100.
Right.
So we're charging double for a non-resident.
Okay.
What's been happening in the afternoon is there's a large group of mainly younger people that are of working age, not like me anymore, but that are going down there, and they're finding out, because it's free and there's such nice courts, people are showing up. They're not turning the court over. They don't know where they're from. They're leaving food on it. They're smoking pot in the parking lot, and the Bridgewater residents that want to play can't even get on the courts because they're not turning the court over, and they're waiting a long period of time. So it's an impact on them because of this outside situation. So by doing it this way, you could make sure that for a small fee, they'd be guaranteed those courts. And if they were out of town, but they wanted to play on a regular basis, they get charged double. But if they weren't members and they're just going down there to tie up the courts and not adhere to our rules, well, they would have to at least pay a guest fee, or number two, not play at all. And the only way to possibly monitor and manage that is there's a couple members in the afternoon group that are on the board of directors that they would monitor the afternoon group. And then there's certainly members that would monitor the morning group. And that way we can ensure that it's proper for especially the Bridgewater residents and the regular players that are coming down. It stays to that level.
Jeff, this is Dan Bjorn.
Hey, Dan.
So at this time, these 500 people are not registered. This membership is not set up, or it is?
It is not.
Okay.
It's only through an app called Team Reach that you can see when the courts are open, or you can sign up for or get some correspondence.
So, yeah, I was going to ask you, but I think you answered this. So the 500 or so right now, we don't know the breakdown residents versus non-residents in that 500, or do you?
We don't, but I think the
Okay.
guess is probably 300 Bridgewater, 200 non-Bridgewater is the closest guess we can come up with. But within Team Reach, we don't have emails or addresses to really go back and confirm where they are.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be web-based when we get going, and all of that's going to go through the website. And when an application is filled out, we'll have their complete address and email information and everything at that point.
Okay, thank you.
Mark, through you to Jeff, are you looking at 6 courts being, for lack of a better term, tied up by your organization? And how does that start? Say it's, I've heard different times in the morning, but say it's 7 to 11, you know, just for a ballpark. What's stopping somebody? Jane Doe comes in with her grandchildren, wants to play, is willing to, you know, to do the whiteboard or that, which I suggest, because somebody can't be there to monitor all the time, even Parks and Rec folks. Maybe having a sign made up that explains the whiteboard and the rules. People could just go down there and have no idea what the whiteboard is for. So if a little sign was, a permanent sign was made up with the rules for that, you know, can only play one game, you know, rotate. But back to Jane Doe and her grandchildren, if they want to go at, say, 9 o'clock in the morning. Just spur of the moment, grandchildren are visiting, they want to go play pickleball. Now she's gonna be charged for 3 people. That's why
That's not.
I against, and I know we have no formal application yet. The only formal application we've had is what, as far as I know,
They get the same rates as us.
is for what we approved last year for morning hours, Monday through Friday. I think it was Monday through Friday. So until we have a formal application, we really can't make a decision, rule. But as I said, I think we should. I understand what you're doing, and I commend your group for it. When I voted to go along with what was brought up to us last June, it was with the understanding that if we charge, there's so many out of town people coming, that if we charged, it would keep those folks out. They stay in their own towns instead of driving to Bridgewater. I mentioned that to someone on your committee that's very active. I believe it was still active, not overly positive on that, but was very instrumental in the whole thing. And the comment I got from that person was that her friends from out of town can't wait to pay and belong to the organization. So much for keeping out of town people out if
No, I
they
mean,
can't wait to pay.
that's why it'd be a double fee for out of towners. Again, with the amount of out of towners, mainly, East Bridgewater, Raynham, they're a big part of the groups that are down there. We've been playing together with them for years, and it's a very social thing with them. But there are big signs that are in there before you enter the gate, going over all the rules on how after a game is over, you will leave the court. But people in the afternoon that are from out of town, they're not adhering to them. They're doing what they want. So unless you have it set up where you're set up as a member-based system, like a country club, like whatever it might be, you really can't control outside influences, and that's what we're trying to do in the structure.
But is it up to, and I guess we can discuss this more when we get the formal application in writing. I just lost my train of thought. I don't know. Let me jump on to my other thing, and maybe that one will come back into my brain. I just have a whole bunch of thoughts on this. You mentioned electricity for the defibrillator. One of the things that's been mentioned to me by the chair of the energy committee in town, when I had, talked about the defibrillator and the need for electricity, was that solar panels, you could have solar panels if that would be more than enough to power, keep a defibrillator charged. So it wouldn't need the expense of the cable, or whatever else you want to call it, for the electricity. Keeping it open at night
The battery.
is a Paxson
It's in the box.
decision. I mean, you could say, yes, we'd like to
Like,
keep
don't
it
keep it-
open. There's a
If you-
reason Paxson Rec had said no to begin with, to have it open at night, basically. And you guys can, Tommy or Mike, Mark, it might have been before your time when the courts were being built, but so the others correct me if I'm wrong, but it's set back from the street. It's not visible from Bedford Street. To have lights on at night, not to say somebody's not going to go in with no lights and do damage. It's just it can't be monitored. The basketball courts are right on Bedford Street and they have lights, but there's cars going by all the time. The police are going by.
They shut off at 2 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
The pickleball courts are just
the
too
same thing with
secluded to
Pickleball.
have it on at night. And
And
it,
And that was part of future
Yeah.
discussions, future growth.
let's try to just backtrack a little bit here. And one of the things we agreed to back in June, after many discussions, was to, we threw out, because we weren't going to tell pickleball how to run their organization, just like we don't tell baseball or basketball. Okay, so we said, put your organization together, do the things you need to do. As we said, you have to set up a nonprofit. It's not up to us to guide them, which I think everybody was in agreement with. We threw out the number $10 a head as a starting point, and then the way we said it was set your organization up and we'll review it after the season. Okay. I think, and not that it's a big deal, I think maybe some of us thought maybe the organization would come together a little sooner, but it didn't. So I think we can look at this past summer and fall as a good starting point. They got some things rolling, but now going into the 2024 season is really the first season with an organized structure that the Pickleball Association is going to have. I think what we should do, and this is my recommendation, keep things moving along, is we treat it as such as their initial season. I say we stay with the $10 per member fee that we suggested, and we see how things go, and we stay in touch with Jeff. And then if we run into a point, let's say, season starts early, let's say it starts in March. Let's say come May, we run into a point where too many residents aren't getting a chance to play because of the association. And then maybe we can make some adjustments. Maybe one court is left open all the time, or left open in the morning session, or left open in the afternoon session. I think it's important to control the out-of-town element. Most people are probably good people, but there are people that are going to take advantage of things. I think
Why don't you do it by initially charging 3 times what you're going to charge the Bridgewater residents? Maybe then.
I think even just charging them, we're going to control it to a degree. If we
Yeah,
don't,
but if it's a bigger difference between a Bridgewater residents, we'll make a line in the sand.
If I can interject here, excuse me, I think there's a lot of non-residents playing within this group of 500 that are following the rules. It's just a smaller group in the afternoons. If correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff. And
That is correct.
That's
That
the
is
culprit.
correct.
So why are we going to punish the people that have been going there all along? The only thing I would say is, in my opinion, in this fee structure, we said 10, but it maybe non-residents should be 20. It should be double. So if you're charging them, what I'm thinking is if you're charging me as a resident $50 and giving 10 to the rec, and then, my cousin comes in out of town and they're charging 100, maybe that should be 20. That's just a thought.
we can't, as an organization, we can't differentiate what they're, we can pick a flat fee. We can't, in baseball, if they decide for whatever reason to let a Brockton family come in and play baseball, we can't get, instead of $25 a head, we can't get $50 a head. So
No,
whatever number we
Jeff,
pick has to be the
that's
same
wrong.
number all the way
Jeff,
across.
I'm
Well,
sorry,
okay.
no.
All right. Forget about it.
That's not
But
We've already been talking about this for the last couple of weeks about charging out of town is more money. to
Yeah, but
use
we haven't-
facilities.
I don't think
So
we've
I'm not
officially
gonna
done that.
change from
But-
that. They're not.
Well,
they're not
it
townies.
is.
They're not townies. They don't get the same. They don't get the same benefit.
Well,
Well,
it's two different
again, if
things.
I may interject one thing, I think $100 a double is will probably lose a lot of non-residents.
Oh, I'm sorry.
so
I thought that's what you said it was. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it would be, it's $50 for residents and $100 for non-residents. And instead of
Right.
going a $10 flat fee, what we could do is just do a straight 20%.
Right.
So,
That's what I was
The
suggesting.
guest fee and it's $5, they get $1. If it's $50 for a resident, 20% of that is $10. If it's $100 for non-resident, 20% of that is $20. So we, instead of having a different fee, we could just set it up as a straight percentage.
If you do that,
And I think that would cover it. But I think $100 doubling what the residence is
That golf, same.
a good number myself.
Right. No, I agree with you. That's what I was trying to get. I think think you and I are on the same page about that.
Yeah.
But getting back, Mark, to the chairman said, I agree with Mark. Last year we said, hey, they came in, kind of gave them some guidelines and maybe didn't take off. So I think this next spring we start this fee structure if we can or whatever. So Jeff, when can someone start signing up for this? I mean, is it ongoing right now, or is it March 1st when you're going to start the membership?
March, the season will run from March 1 to the end of the year, December 31. I mean, they're still playing as of right now because it's been so
Right.
good. That'll be the season. So between now and then, we are in the process of trying to get a website set up, and everything from Team Reach will be brought over to the website, but we're not willing to make sure we put a big investment in and make sure that some of those fees can be recouped if we don't have the approval from your board. So that's why we're here also to make sure we do that. So we've done some things, but we're kind of in a holding position until we know, where we're at, so we can go forward like that.
Mark, I think
Let's
we
just
need
just
to have-
real quick, before we get into too much discussion about the ins and outs. Let's
This
just so
isn't
Jeff
in and
does.
out.
No. Just let's. If we have any more what they've done so far, let ask Jeff while he's right here, and then we can discuss this afterwards without Jeff, because a lot of things we can discuss that Jeff doesn't need to be a part of. So
Hey,
if
Jeff,
you have
one
any,
other
if anybody has
question I
more
got
questions
for
for
you.
Jeff.
But
Jeff,
this
what
is-
what are you now? Are you buying the nets and so forth too? Are you
Well, I
good
think
with the extra money you got coming in.
I think that's up for discussion because in the past the porta potties were paid for by Parks and Rec. So is that something that part of our fee-based system we're going to take over? The nets and stuff will be taken over by all the member fees and the windscreens and the balls and all of that. So all of that funding will come from the member-based fee. If we need to do things with the courts, we've spent some time fixing a lot of the cracks on the courts. I personally have done it. But the only way to do that, if we didn't do that, then the water's going to get into it over the winter time, and the courts are going to get all cracked up and stuff. So we are internally making sure that we're doing what it takes, because we realize that if we don't do it, it's not going to be in as good quality. So,
Okay.
so that's part of it too.
Okay, again, and not to belabor this, Mark, again, that's the town's responsibility. It's not an outside group. Men's softball doesn't come in and say, okay, we're taking care of everything.
Actually, they do. Softball does do a lot. Baseball does a lot.
They
Both of
do,
their fields.
they do.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I was going to say
also-
football. Every organization chips in,
As long as Jim
Right,
is up to
and-
speed on
and
what's
I
going
agree
on,
with
then
that.
it's fine.
But
you know.
but as far as what Jeff said, and I think it's a slap in the face to Parks and Rec, the commission, and to our staff, our superintendent, our people under him. The way I took it from Jeff was, if they didn't do it and take care of the cracks and take care of the nets and the windscreens,
That-
who would do it?
Well, if that's the way it came out, Gina, that was not my intent, but we found some cracks that we proactively fixed. And we
And
made sure that it was
so-
good. As the winter time was coming down, we made sure we did it. It was not a disrespect at all. If it came out
Right,
that way, it wasn't.
And again, it should have been brought to the attention of Jim Small, our superintendent, who could do it. I'm not sure if these are the same cracks or a result of the poor job that was done in laying the
Yeah,
pavement.
Joe Pitta reached out to me and volunteered to fill those cracks. He said, I got the stuff. Actually, I had bought in the stuff to do it, and he used came down, took some of that Nova crack repair and filled them in. So he let me know.
Okay,
Yeah, so Gina, I had also spoke with Jim. I'd been talking to Jim about this, and I'd also talked to Joe Pitta this summer as well too. So there was communication going, and like I said, as long as Jim is up to speed with any work anybody's doing on our facilities, any of the organizations. I mean, obviously, if it's something that Jim doesn't feel right, I trust Jim in saying like this isn't the right way to fix it, and then we go from there. But as far as I know, Jim has been up to speed on any repairs that have been done down there.
Okay, good. The other thing, well, continued on, I think, or I know, Mark, we should have, as a committee, we should have a formal request for the court for the hours and spelling out a lot of what Jeff has said tonight. We just can't at a meeting say, oh yeah, well, you guys can do this for
Yeah,
April.
that's something we can discuss. We can discuss over the next couple months, and then I understand, Jeff, they don't want to go too far with our approval, and I think we're gonna approve something because this has been the best thing that's come before us yet. They've actually got some structure now and everything else. So I think just for some tweaking, I think Jeff, as the commissioners, we can talk and discuss the things that you've put before us, and then we'll come back with you with our thoughts and things we're willing to approve. But I think everybody is basically, with a little tweaking, all on the same page here. And what makes things, it's a little difficult because, football has a season, baseball has a season, and these are so many months. Baseball runs a little longer, but if a group of townspeople wanted to play baseball on a Saturday in April, May, or June, they're not going to find a field. They're not going to find a spot down at Legion Field. Pickleball runs, it's such a broad season. It's tough, so you can't be like, all right, well, when their 3-month season's over, then everybody can come and play. It's not excluding people, but I think there can be some tweaks made that makes everybody happy here. But overall, I think we're moving in the right direction. I think the association's done a great job. Like I said, this is compared to where we started a year plus, with different proposals from different people that made no sense whatsoever to us. We've got Bridgewater people that have started an association that things are starting to make sense. So I think we can make some tweaks and we can discuss it, today, next month. And, and Jeff, we can probably bring you back in maybe in February. And if we have some changes we'd like to make, we can discuss them with you anyway, and we can stay, in communication until well.
I think Jeff is looking for an answer sooner than February. Is that right, Jeff?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on board with this. I think, and I've talked to Jeff and I talked to Joe and a few other people down there. I've been down to the courts. I've met some people. I've put some time in down there trying to understand, and explain to them early on when people wanted to know what the holdup was on our end, and just to explain to them that we couldn't structure it for them. This group is gone. They've elected Jeff and they've done their structure. They've done the work they do. I'm in full support of this. Maybe just with the amendment that, maybe there's some tweaking with the schedule. I know, some people, Tom and Gina, you have some concerns about it being 7 days a week, but overall, I think.
No. I'm completely for it. I think that it's just the hours and stuff, and that's something we should just do it as a board, talk about, and get back to Jeff in the next 30 days.
I'm not looking to stop progress here at all.
It's not fair because they've done a lot of work, and I'll tell you, I appreciate all they've done. Jeff, you've done a great job presenting it, and we've gone through a couple of different people coming through who have not presented it as properly as you have. I think this is great. You've answered most of our questions. I think we just as a board, need to talk privately and just get back to you very shortly.
No. That'd be great. And like I've done with any business I've had in my whole life, I've worked with many different boards, and I really look forward to an open dialogue and making sure that everyone's comfortable to what we're doing. And on one thing to Gina's question, what we really want to do is to make sure that, especially Bridgewater residents that are really interested in learning the game, we want to provide free professional lessons to them to see if they like the game. What they'd be amazed at is how inclusive people are down there, how welcoming the group is, and they're willing to play and stay longer with people that are just learning the game. And they're going to get so excited with the people that they meet down there. It'll be a better community event, and more people are going to come together. And it's amazing, the group of people that are there. And at that point, they're either going to really like the sport, or they're going to say the sport's not for me. But we want to make sure that to attract new Bridgewater residents, that we're going to put our best foot forward to make sure that we can teach them the game by a professional and to play with other people to see if they really like the game. And then at that point, they're in this community that we're putting together. We're going to have socials planned and cookouts planned and all kinds of fun things that we want to do and bring the group together. But again, we're more than willing to, listen to your feedback and do whatever we can possibly do together. And the only thing that I can say is we're trying to get this up and running for March 1 and get a website going, and it is coming on quick. So I'm certainly not rushing it, but whatever we can possibly do to work it would be wonderful. And I'm more than willing to do whatever we can to work with you guys.
Mark,
Yeah,
I just have a question for clarification from Jeff. I know we had said a user fee $10, or we talked tonight about
20%.
20%. However it's worked. But you also mentioned if it's 500 people. Okay, as I'm saying it out loud, it's making sense. Okay, so that's coming back to the town, but what about the other 80%? It's not going to cost 80% of whatever. My second point, we don't need to discuss that now. That was just, well, I guess that's the question. My other point is, you mentioned cookouts and socials. Cookouts, anything like that has to be passed by Parks and Rec first. And just to reiterate, and Mark, I'll be quiet. I would like to see something in writing with what you're proposing before I vote yes or no, or maybe, or whatever.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
Mark, if I could just throw my 2 cents worth into, I'm behind this too, because I think I'm like all of you. A year ago, I wasn't really so much behind it because there's a lot more structure, a lot more organization tonight. But I really think we got to make some type of a decision, maybe tonight, in the form of not an actual vote, but maybe an informal, I don't know, to let Jeff know that he can get that website rolling and get it going. Because if we wait too much longer, the schedule thing, I think we could do that after the holidays, but we got to give them a green light to the 20% fee structure. I think is fair. It looks like they're organized, but I agree with Jeff. March 1st is going to come here before you know it. So if we don't, they can't wait till March 1st to try to set up a website, to get membership. I think they got to start doing that.
I mean, we
now,
could
so.
right now. I mean, if you guys want to put a motion out there to approve this pending, just receiving a copy of everything in writing, what Jeff's just laid out. I think stuff he's already, just basically Jeff, just what the structure of the nonprofit avenue you're choosing, the fee structure, just something simple like that. But I mean, if you guys want to put a motion forward for that, I have no issue with that, because I agree. I think we should keep
Let's do this. Let's get something from Jeff. We can approve the pickleball group.
Yep.
We can approve their 20%. I don't know about the time. Maybe wait till Jeff sends us exactly what he wants, and then we approve that too. But tonight, let's just approve the pickleball group, that they can use the courts, and the only thing that's going to be up for discussion is whatever Jeff sends us, that everything we talk about is in writing, and then we can approve it. And if there's any tweaking, I think Jeff would be okay with it too. It's nothing.
Absolutely. Would you like that in a memo form, or within a formal application that you specifically have that I need to fill in the points, or shall I send you a memo with the detail on what I'm talking? Well,
I would say a memo, because I don't think we have an actual application for the organization. But we get a motion to accept the Bridgewater Pickleball Association. I think we can vote on that to accept that for tonight. I don't see any issues with that.
Can I just, he can't make the motion. Someone's going to make it.
No,
but before we do this, can I just ask Jeff a quick question? Hypothetical.
Yes.
If from 7 to 11 in the morning, say Monday through Friday, just hypothetical, that's a block for the membership, right?
Yes.
For all
If
6
I-
courts?
Okay, can I just hypothetical here? All right, if I come down and let's say it's for all 6 courts, okay, from 7 to 11, and I come down as a non-member. I've never played pickleball. I played it once or twice, but is that person going to be turned away, or would they be welcomed in to show them if you know? Or is that pretty much for the members at that point?
The way
Which-
we initially discussed it was if you had a friend that was with you who wasn't a member, they could come in as a guest, but it would be
Yeah.
member based in the morning.
Yeah.
If someone just showed up knowing the group, are we going to turn somebody away? We're not going to turn
Probably
anybody
not.
away.
Yeah, no, okay.
Are you gonna
That's what I
charge,
thought.
I'm
you're
sorry.
gonna charge that person?
It'd be
If
a
they're
guest fee, right?
if it's a member-based fee and they show up, they will be charged a $5 guest fee, of which you'll receive 20%.
Okay,
And you'll be in your plans, Jeff. There will be open time, right?
There
We
will
could
be
even maybe even block off open time just for residents. I'm thinking, right? So that
Right. The open
Yeah.
time we have thought of the group in the morning from 7 to 11, in the afternoon group from 4 to 8. But you have from 11 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon as complete open play
right.
Right,
and you
what-
can have it set up as Bridgewater residents or however you have that set up.
And maybe if it's a couple, maybe that's a couple days a week. You could do a lot of creativity with it to keep everybody to
I
invite a
agree.
lot of people.
There's no private
Like
lessons.
Tom said, we can
are
work
there?
with the schedule after. too.
Okay, is
But-
the motion
I hate
to
Zoom.
approve the
You can't
concept of the association or the organization, or to approve that they can have the hours that Jeff just said? that
No,
are
no.
exclusively
We're
for-
approving, the motion I recommend the motion I recommend you guys do is to accept them as the Bridgewater Pickleball
Right.
Association. So Jeff,
Yeah.
can
I'm
you-
going to make a motion. Try to make a motion here. Maybe we can tweak it as we go, but I'd like to make a motion that we do accept the Bridgewater Pickleball Association as, what's the word I'm looking for? The official
Can you-
organization,
Sponsors.
sponsor of the pickleball courts, and also give them the go-ahead to set up their fee structure, and they will report back to us at a later date with schedules. And before the season starts, they need to come back to us with their schedule for the
Like a set of
2024
rules.
season.
And
I mean, we
again, I
can
will
clean that up.
I'll put forth a memo to you for you to tweak. Let me know how to adjust it, and then we can go from there.
But now you can go ahead with your,
Mike, hold on one second. Can we get a second on Dan's motion?
Okay.
Okay,
second.
you guys who put the motion
And then
in second
discussion.
before have to withdraw it.
what?
Mark made a motion, Tom seconded it. You
And
need
now
to
it's
withdraw
discussion.
that if we're
No,
going.
No, Mark
I
said,
didn't make
I'd like,
Dan made the motion that's on the table right now.
Okay, but you
So if
made a
somebody wants
motion before
be-
that.
I recommended a motion. I didn't make a motion,
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
just because I can't.
Let me second
So,
it.
I second it.
All
Now,
Right, no,
now we can
you-
have discussion.
You
Gina.
can't as chair make motions. Okay, okay, I'll second it for discussion. As long as we're not approving, like voting on the hours
Nope,
for the
not yet,
court
not tonight.
tonight, we're just accepting them as an organization.
Yes.
Okay,
I
I
would
think we're
also-
voting on to approve this organization as the,
as an
the-
organization.
yeah,
Mr.
as an
Chairman, I'd like to add
organization.
one thing, that we're gonna get 20% of their fee structure.
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
We'll,
just put that in as
Yep.
addendum, and then it's perfect, and we'll just move it quick for Mike. So if we can get that approved, and then within the next 30 days, we give them the hours, or even tonight, if we get done with this meeting, I know we have some other things to talk about, but I think we're all pretty much.
I just think the schedule should be, we'll ratify the schedule at a later date once they get
Yeah,
their
they-
organization
to us.
up and running. I mean, right now, that technically, I don't think without our approval, up and running yet. So let's approve them, let them get going. It's a heck of a lot better than it was a year ago, and they did a great job last year, but.
This
and,
way you can get your website going forward too.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
way we're not handing them and they keep rolling. So, unless there's any more discussion on this, can we get a vote to approve? All in
No,
favor?
I just
Yep,
want
go
to
ahead.
make it, I don't know if it actually goes with the motion, but I'd like to just make a point of interest. Jeff has said there's 500 people roughly on that. I can't remember the name of it.
Team
The yes. Just to make a point, they're not all active people. I know I signed up for it. A number of other people signed up for
Well,
it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
something separate from this. As
Right,
far as that,
that's right.
That's why we gotta, that's why we have to let them get going, so we can
Exactly.
figure out by February or March exactly how many people we're talking about, because maybe the hours have to be adjusted one way or the other if the membership is
Exactly. We need to
up to
convert to
1,000
that
or if it's
over.
down to 200, you know what I mean? So,
Absolutely agree. Yep.
Yeah, nope. All right. Any further discussion? All in favor to accept Bridgewater Pickleball Association? Say aye.
I
all right.
Jeff, you can get rolling.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Appreciate your time and the insight on everything, and I look forward to working with you guys. And,
Yep,
and
thank you.
Thank you for fixing the cracks the other minute, but as long as Jimmy's in the loop, I mean, seriously, as long as you keep Jim Smalley in the loop,
Yeah.
I don't.
No,
which I know you do.
sounds great. Work closely with Joe and Jim. I'm going to pop in one of these days and say hi so I can meet you person face to face.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, take care.
See
Thank you,
tomorrow.
Okay.
Was he a businessman?
No. Pickleball.
No, was he a businessman?
Pressure.
All right. We can, if you guys want to, we can roll with this right now. Well, it's fresh on us, or basically,
Was he a businessman? He's talking like a
what we
businessman.
need to
He sold his business.
is
He owned a,
we can
Guys,
wait
we
on-
can hear you.
we can put some thought into it as far as scheduling and whatnot goes. I don't know if anybody wants to discuss this any further tonight. We can. If not, we can bring it up the next meeting. We've had some time to think about it. Up to you guys.
Can I just?
I think
ask
we
a
should
question?
hold off till the next meeting and let us all absorb this and come up with our own thoughts, and because right now we're just all over the place. I think we should all take a little step back, take a little breather, and come back with our own thoughts on. But I think a lot of it's going to be contingent on what they get for membership too. So
Yeah.
Good,
We can
good
get the
point,
ball.
Danny. Can I just ask one question? And
Yes.
then I'll be quiet on this, I think.
Is it a
You
two-part
promise?
question or just a one question?
One question. Okay, we approved as an organization. What happens if some other group wants to come and set aside times and set up the same type of organization? Are we
No.
going to say no?
Oh, this is our organization. We're sticking with it like we do with football and Little League. We,
We'll review it once a year.
once a year.
yeah, absolutely. I think if this thing goes awry, now, when we were talking about last year, let's revisit at the end of the season. They never really had everything together. In 2024 going in, we've approved them. They have their act together. We may have some discussions with them throughout the season, but a year from now, we have the same discussion. If we're unhappy with it, maybe we tell them they got to restructure or we look for another organization. But I think right now, this is their trial year, and we're behind them as of right now, and they're Bridgewater people running it. So I think that's the most we can ask for right now. So if another organization comes up and proves a valid point, maybe a younger group, then maybe possibly we split the court time down the road. But I think we look out and see how this year goes. We take any problems that arise, we take any positive things that happen, and we weigh them out a year from now. That's my thought on it.
Good idea.
Okay. Jumping around a little bit. Dan, I know due to the way it worked out last meeting, you weren't on board for the meeting, but so a representative from Bridgewater Little League, Mike Rocha, he does a lot of fundraising for the league. He's working with a couple scoreboard companies and looking to get some funding for some new scoreboards. So essentially, we're looking to add new scoreboards with sponsors picking up the full cost of them. If anything, we'll work with Jim Small to get new footings and new steel in there. But for the most part, we're looking to have it all covered by local businesses to pick up the tab. But the scoreboards
great.
are outdated, and we're really looking to revamp things at Legion Field, like I reiterated it last meeting, and as we approved our fee structure, as I texted you, we just really looking forward to start putting some gas on getting Legion Field dressed up a little bit. So the
That's great.
scoreboards are a great start there, I think, and everybody was behind on that. So pickleball updates, we just had that. Field usage fees. I know the only thing we were waiting on, Gina, was, and I apologize because between work and being sick and whatnot, I fell behind a little bit. But Gina, I can reach out to you separately, and I just want to work with you on the wording for the nonprofit, for non groups using the field and stuff, just so I make sure we word it the right way. But the ball's rolling. A few organizations have been told the fee structure is going to be a little different. I think scheduling. Jim will work with you and Allison on that as far as the not so much Bridgewater Little League, because they more or less have free reign for what they need on the fields, but for the club sports, I think we'll have to have a master schedule in the office we can work with Allison on. And as far as fees being paid, whether we decide to do a deposit or if you pay up front, that's who's got priority to the field first. If it's a different organization, whoever pays first gets it, basically. But that has been introduced, and I'm still standing, so nobody's killed me yet. So we'll see. We'll see as baseball season gets rolling if that changes. But meeting with Jason Rollins, we need to sit down at some point, a couple of us, and see what we want to ask him. I know we've been talking about it a lot, but we do have to put some time into it. In all reality, it's not happening in December. We're all too busy with the holidays. But I'm willing to make some time after the first of the year to sit down with one or two of you. If everybody wants to participate, I know in the past, that's not what everybody's looking for. But we'll come up with a set list of questions, and let's get a hard, firm date to meet with him in February. Does that work with everyone?
Because has everybody looked at the questions or still have the questions that we had put together before as a starting base? If you don't have it, I know I still have it from what Brooke had sent, that when we had all submitted questions, it'll at least give us a start.
I haven't yet, but I will before we sit down, Gina.
Okay.
And Gina and Tom, maybe if Dan, if you get time. Mike will probably be sunning yourself in Florida next month. I don't blame you. But if we can meet at the Park and Recs building, doesn't have to be a televised meeting. We can meet and speak frankly about this stuff, and probably hammer it out a lot faster with less outside interference. So we won't have time before our next meeting date to do it. But I think if we, at that next meeting date, decide who wants to be on board for it, I'll grab some pizza or something, and we'll spend an hour or two figuring out what we want to ask, what makes sense, and what answers we're really looking for.
And Mark, did you get the thing that was put out by the town manager's office about communicating with the town attorney?
Yes, and I ignored it.
Okay.
I didn't ignore it, but it doesn't. I understand what it means. As far as questions here to here, but it's been no secret we have a list of questions.
Right.
Mike knows about it. Jason Rawl knows about it. That we have multiple questions. So we won't go that avenue. We're going to go with a in-person meeting on that, or as in person as they'll allow us to be.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll handle that one, because that's something I told you guys right from the beginning I would stand behind, because a lot of this stuff is stuff you guys want answers to, and I told you from the beginning I would support you guys on that, and I'm sticking to that. So.
We're an advisory group, and it just seems that a lot of the big decisions, we were never asked our opinion on things. And that's.
We don't advise. We're not even told about, let alone advise ourselves.
Right. No, I 100% agree. And we're trying to do the best I can to change that direction with things, and have the line of communication with the town manager's office, and have them, coming to us, with questions and using us for what we're here for, because we're going to use them into 2024 for a lot financially. So we're going to see how well that relationship holds up. So, Jim, I know we have a couple things to talk about price wise, but we don't have to decide now. But obviously, we're going to roll at some point early spring on those dugouts for Upper Stone Dust, and then
that'd be good.
We can build on it from there. But those obviously are going to get built We've got prices on those. I think those prices are reasonable for the framing and the concrete.
Yep.
So, and then obviously the batting cage is a little more than I thought, so we might have to look at some other pricing there. It is a lot of concrete, but that was a pretty big number. So there's a couple other
Yep.
companies that we can try to solicit prices from. Even if I tried staying in Bridgewater, but if we have to go outside of Bridgewater, whatever's best to get. What I'm looking for, guys, is new concrete or concrete in general under the batting cages because they're just on dirt. And, it's just not.
Let's not forget that each year, Graziano has a agreement with the town that they will donate concrete.
Is that
So
an
we-
active agreement still?
That's when they bought the plant over there and they built the plant on top of that. That was part of an agreement a long time ago. And we just got free concrete from them to build Charlie's monument. So that when we're building these scoreboards, we can get some free concrete annually, just like a few yards every year. So
Yeah, no,
Jimmy, maybe you can break down the cost on the concrete, and maybe if you have the diagrams, I would be happy to dig the holes and help support the 2 steel columns on each scoreboard and maybe save that money. My
Yeah,
trucks can vacuum the hole and we can put a sonotube in there, and I'd be happy to donate my time and my truck's time to do that. And that
Fantastic.
might save a lot of money
Are
for,
they your trucks or your son's trucks?
Woo.
I'll get permission.
Okay.
And maybe we can get donate the steel beams. I know
Sure.
someone who might be able to.
Hey, Mark, I got a question about batting cages. I mean, most of the ones I see, I know like up at the high school, they put the AstroTurf down, but cement, would that be a little too dangerous? Like,
No, it would be
would it cover-
right now we have turf on dirt. What I would like to do is put turf on concrete.
Okay, all right.
I just want a base that's that's gonna last, not something that, because these would be more utilized throughout the league if they were in better shape and they were flat and things like that. So if we go with a good concrete base and do it right, we'll put a good thick turf on top of it, and then these will last us for quite some time. And that's anything I want to do down there. I would like to build it to last.
And then do you put a mat where the kids stand, because that's the area that's going to wear out, right?
Yeah. So you lay your turf down, and then you get like one of those rubber mats that has a built-in home plate and batter's boxes on it, and then that wears out versus everything else. So
Right.
Annually, so many years you can replace that. But
Right.
that at a cost of replacing that for $100 versus digging
No, I
holes.
agree with you. And then maybe another mat for you could move for the pitcher too, because they're probably from different spots, right? Yeah. So.
Yep. But absolutely, and the biggest thing there is getting the concrete. I would like us to be able to take care of that as the town, and then some of the other offset, the turf, the mats, things like that. Little League can raise the funds for that, and if they need help, see what we can do with it. But obviously the big expense is the concrete. If we get that squared away, then we'll go from there.
My son.
Yeah, Lisa. Hey, Mark, if you want some help there with Graziano, let me know. We'll get a couple of. I know the Grazianos.
His
And,
a couple of my neighbors. but,
so good. Yeah,
I've done some work. I upfit the last building they built. I did all the interior work for them, so I can work with Tom. But if I need you guys to strong arm him and the old man, I'll definitely.
Tom very well.
So.
They're great guys.
Great guys. You'll get there. That's nickel dimes. That isn't a lot of concrete.
Anybody have anything for new business this meeting?
I got one thing.
Yep.
We got Allison got an email from this company, National Fitness Campaign. I guess they have an outdoor, use your own body weight type fitness gym. It's outdoor, but I guess they have one over at Bridgewater State. I haven't seen it, but we're meeting with them on Wednesday. It's a Zoom call. I'll let you know how it goes, but it seems like they pay for the money. There's a grant. I'm assuming it's federal grant, but so it doesn't cost anything. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
For like a obstacle course fitness thing?
Yeah, you know what? I'll send you guys a text right now, a picture of it. It's kind of like, you know, that TRX that you use, the guy that there's a Navy SEAL and you use your own weight. It's just, it hangs. It's yellow and black in the gym. You'll see it. It's kind
Yeah.
of like on that concept where you're just using your own body weight instead of, you know, pumping the free weights and blowing your arms out of your sockets.
So it's not actually pieces of equipment.
No, it's more like step up, step downs, you know, that type of thing. I'll see if I got it right here. I'll send it to you. So,
Okay, touch base with Emily Williams too, because an outdoor fitness thing is one of the things she was looking at some point. And she might have information on it too. And I'm
yeah,
not
that's a
sure,
good idea.
yeah, because
Maybe I'll see
Wait.
if I'll text her, see if she can sit in on that Zoom thing on Wednesday if she doesn't have anything going on, but
Yeah, send us out the picture for that, Jim. And then Jim, another thing too I want to do with you, if you haven't already, if you've already done it, by all means don't wait for me, but I know I said sit down with you and do it, is won't get done this month, but in January we'll sit down and order the new stuff we need to order for the playgrounds. And
we did it today. She was on the phone with him today, Allison was, so we didn't
Great.
order it, but I know she was going back and forth with him and he has the plans, the guy that we were talking to, he has the original blueprints of what we have. So I sent her all the pictures of stuff. I might need to send you a picture of one of these things. I can't remember with my memory what the hell's wrong with it. I'll send you the picture. You'll probably remember. I don't know if there was a bolt. It might have been a bolt. I took pictures of everything that lady said was wrong.
Yep.
So and everything that was you know faulty we removed. So I think this thing could possibly have been like a screw, and we probably already had it fixed. But just to double check.
yeah, let me know, and because that's still fresh in my mind anyway, so we can stay on top of that. Just that way, when spring rolls around, everything can have up and rolling. We have up and rolling. So
Jimmy, this looks, thanks for sending this. I was just looking at the picture you sent. It looks completely, most of it looks completely different from what Emily, the concept she was looking at. But touch base with her anyways for it.
Yeah, I'll get her in because you never know. I know the biggest thing for me is you guys probably know better than me, but if we wanted to do it, where the heck it would go, you know?
well, Jim, in our coming up in our one of our first 2 meetings of the year, I'll share my new designs for Legion Field, and I'm sure we can find a spot for it somewhere in there.
Yes, I didn't know. I didn't want to also, I got a quote today from, the guy walked around, measured the pickleball court, measured the 2 basketball courts at Legion, measured the basketball court at Scotland Field. So he's going to give me a quote to fix cracks and paint. But the court up at Scotland, the basketball court, he's recommending that we rip that asphalt up. He said he said he could patch it, but if he did, he wouldn't be able to. This guy was real nice. He was kind of a normal guy. He said he wouldn't be able to warranty any of the future cracks because it was so bad that, you know, it's porous and he can't guarantee that it's just not going to keep cracking, which he knows it will.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Probably a lot of roots growing under that one too over there. There's probably a lot of roots under that court.
Oh yeah, well you can see, you know how you get like cart paths on the golf course. You see that there's a rock underneath it. You can see a bump.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of cracks and stuff. So I didn't know if we wanted to examine. I don't know how hard it would be to change whether we want to have a basketball court there. If we wanted to go a different direction. I don't know.
I'd like to keep one up there just because where we want to try to revitalize that a little bit, you know, and add another playground. I spoke with Stefano too. Stefano gave us a price for another small building up there because if we move football practices up there, which the football league's receptive to, they're going to need a small shed up there to store their practice equipment. So maybe we can do all this in conjunction with the things we've talked about, adding lights up there and stuff to the backfield. So.
Well, maybe we can have men's softball chip in and they can store their 3-wheeler. They got their 3-wheel field groomer outside with a tarp over it right now. So
yeah. And I was thinking, one of the things I was thinking too is maybe losing their shed and building a new one that's divided, because that way we keep football and softball separate. But
Yeah, right.
it's the one building, so
Yeah,
aesthetically it
absolutely.
looks better anyway. But let me get the price from Stefano and see where we're at with that, and then we can see what we want to attack the town manager's office with.
There was a bathroom up there too. The shed that's there now. there
Yeah,
used to
somebody
be two
said that.
There used to be two bathrooms there, so you could fix those up, fix the bathrooms. I would say fix that basketball court too. It's something to keep people occupied if they're
Yeah,
watching
we-
their dad play softball, waiting for their brother to come back from playing football practice. You know, it gives and it's secure. It's fenced in.
Yep. No, I agree. Fine with that. So.
All right.
Okay. That's good there, Jim. Jim, you all set with any updates?
Yeah, that's it for me.
All right. Does anybody else have anything additional for discussion?
My last thing is CPC related. We've carried on our agenda for God knows how long about as a anticipated project, additional pickleball courts.
No.
That's what I was gonna say. I've taken it off the agenda for this month because there's many things I would rather see.
Playground
than
at Scotland.
pickleball courts.
A new playground in Scotland in that fenced in area. We want to get prices for that anyway. CPC
Mhm.
give us some money to that. I think that's a great use for it. Just because
It's not a CPC expense, though.
it's what's that?
It's not a CPC expense. I'll look into see if it's been done other places.
I mean,
Right.
it's preserving a park that's been in town for years. Used to be a playground there, is not anymore.
Mhm.
Very needed. Wherever we can get money, we'll take it. We'll take
And
it.
and
And
speaking
I'm not.
of,
I'm not opposed to down the road expanding pickleball by any means, but as
not
far
right now.
as far as I've made clear with my agenda, it's the parks. It's the actual parks and the fields is where I'm at right now. And that doesn't mean I'm ignoring anything you guys want. You know, this is still, you guys, whatever you guys want, I'm still behind. But
I agree 100%. And
I just know where I'm at with what I want to do. So
yeah, no, I agree 100% on that.
All right.
And speaking of playgrounds, we still need to think. I don't know if the fire department, new fire station committee has reached out to you, Mark. As I've said before, I don't want to see Parks and Rec be shut out for the design of what goes into the playground there, especially since the land was given for passive recreation.
All
So
right.
it's something we have to keep on top of too.
That should be another question. Give it to Jason Rollins.
And also put to the fire station building committee. I've been told that Parks and Rec would be kept up to date on everything. I don't think we are.
I don't think we are either. But
Yep.
I slow down. I'm a little slower in the winter than I am the rest of the year. But I can spend a little more time doing some of the things I need to do to get on people and get some answers and stuff. So before I get busy during baseball season again. But Yeah.
Matt,
Nope.
he's on the commission.
we'll find that. Okay.
I'm here
Anything
till
else?
I'm here till the 7th of January. So if you set up a meeting after Christmas till then on what we're going to talk with Jason Rollins, I'd love to do that.
Okay. All right. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Okay, one question for Jim.
Yep.
Just so I can,
Gina, I think you're over your limit of questions.
I know, but just so I can update CPC this
Aye.
week. Any news on the ad hoc committees for the mobile station or Styles and Hart?
Styles and Hart went out to bid. I think we
we knew that.
touched on
Yep.
that
Yeah,
last
we
meeting.
knew that.
And the mobile station, there's a couple of I don't know if you want to call them design plans that somebody emailed out. I think either Mike's probably, Mark, you should probably try to reach out to that guy, Josh, because I think Mike is still on the email. I think he gets those.
Yep.
The updates on that, he's our rep, he's, as the chairman.
And, right, and Michael's father passed away last week too.
Okay.
Yeah, that was.
We reach out to Josh. I'll get on him. He's been pretty good about getting stuff to me. And
Yeah, so there is a plan. I mean, you'd probably be better off reading those plans than I am. I mean, it's really not a whole hell of a lot that's going to be done there, and it's not going to be maintained by us. That's the thing
Right.
that I stopped I tuned out after I heard that. So.
Right. No,
Yeah, I mean,
we were just
yeah.
told that there is an ad hoc committee and you're going to be on it.
Yeah, it's I think it's our chairman and then that guy Bob Ruley and then a couple of architects and that's about it.
Okay,
all right, we'll look into that too. I'll get on that as well.
okay, I'm done.
No more additional questions, Gina. You good?
Sure.
I'm good
Heard that before.
until you jog my mind on something else.
Real
Thank
quick.
you, Gina.
Real quick before you guys vote to adjourn the meeting. It's been 6 months. I've been the chair. Thank you guys. I appreciate the opportunity. I've been doing a lot of stuff and a lot of conversations and getting prices behind the scenes as to what I want to do at Legion. After the first of the year, I'll start sharing those ideas with you guys and some drawings and things like that. So I have something you guys can actually look at and give me some input on. But I'm not going to do anything without the support of you guys.
Yeah,
But,
Like Charlie's
Oh, thank-
Memorial.
Like
Like,
Yeah.
Mark,
Hey,
thank
Mark.
you.
You're doing a much better job than the other chairman.
Hey, Mark, the biggest thing is when you say I, it's we, because
There's no I in team.
I know what you want, but we all have to say, okay.
well, that's what you listen to me.
That's what I love about you.
I tell you what, there's no secret as to what I want, but I'm not doing it out without all of us. So you don't always want to be hooked up to my ship because I'll drag you right down the gutter, Tom. You don't
That's right. I can already see that's
Put
going.
a hole in the bow.
exactly.
Mark, on behalf of the rest of the board, thank you for all you're doing. You're doing a great job, hard work. And now I would like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
But seriously, thank you.
All in favor?
Yes, thank you.
Good job, Mark.
All right. Hey, Merry Christmas,
Alright.
everybody.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Mark.
Yes,
Merry
Merry
Christmas,
Christmas.
Happy New Year.
All right. Take
Yep.
care. Thank you.
Right.